Hey guys, I'm here to talk to you about a matter that many of you may never heard of before. Sweat lodges. What are they? Are they good for you mentally, physically, spiritually? Years ago, sweat lodges was discovered by Native Americans. And in essence, it was a place where you would go and you would gather and you would sweat and you would meditate and you would clear out all your impurities and have a spiritual heightened awareness. Now, this was discovered by Native Americans who had rules and regulations on how to interact and how long and the length of time that you would spend, and you would have certain chats within the sweat lodge to kind of really reach this heightened awareness. But there's this guy named James Arthur Ray, who's a spiritual guru who had a pretty huge following, and he would have these retreats and people would pay up to $10,000. $10,000, that's a lot of money to be a part of his retreat. And ultimately the retreat would end with a period of fasting, a big meal, and it would all gather together. All the participants would gather together in a big sweat lodge, and the goal was to sweat and sweat and sweat, and there was no time limit. Unfortunately, three individuals lost their lives during the process. Now there's a lot of things that went wrong here. One, he had a huge following and he had all these people gathered in one room. There are limits. The more people that you gather in one room, the more the body heat accumulates and the more the chance or the increased chance of bad things going wrong. So in this scenario, people became dehydrated, people started to have seizures, vomiting, nausea, you throw in some other medical problems like diabetes, high blood pressure. All that is a recipe for destruction and may lead to untimely death. Not to mention if a person is on medication or battling some sort of other immediate illness at that given time. So you have to be very, very careful on who you follow. In this scenario, here's how I would have done it differently. One, I would have made sure that there was a time limit. Two, I would have made sure that the capacity was limited, not more than 10, 15, 20 people given the amount of space that was available. Three, you need to have a medical professional on board. It would have paid huge dividends to have medical screening exams performed prior to taking part in this sweat box. Four, you want to know people's medical problems. You want to know what medications they're on. You want to make sure that they understand that this may increase their chance of something negative happening. So be very careful on who you follow, what you follow, and how you follow it. A lot of common sense goes a long ways, and unfortunately, 3 people lost their lives, and they're not coming back. And so I think the limit was pushed here in so many ways, and the consequences was grave. I know you and I are trying to get to this place in life, that this huge spiritual heightened awareness, you want to be the best you want to be in this moment, and it's very important to meditate. But at the same time, we all know that fire burns. And in this case, this was fire, and unfortunately lives were lost. So be very careful. Be very careful out there on where you take your advice, how you take your advice, and your limitations that you exude in situations and pushing your body beyond its limit. In this particular scenario, there were no quit in these individuals, and unfortunately lives were lost.